All right. Good day, everybody, and welcome to Headline Hits with LW. It's brought to you by all the sponsors this week, which is MyPillow and MyPillow.com. If you guys would like to support Mike Lindell and his Patriot effort, you can support him through MyPillow.com and use promo code LWN. You could save up to 66%, and it also helps support LWN. We got Miles Franklin, info at milesfranklin.com for your gold and silver needs. And I'm telling you right now is a great time to buy silver. I believe it's still under $23 an ounce. Great time to buy if you're interested in that. And of course, the Patriot owned business that supports us here as well. 97% of what they sell is made right here in America. And that's very important. They're America first country. They're family owned. Just a really great products. I've been using them since October, and I'm going to talk about that later today. I'll do another video. You guys can join us over there. I might be able to answer some of your questions. You can check that out at lwnfliptheswitch.com. All right, let's hit the headlines. A lot of stuff in the news today. It was actually a pretty big news day, and I had a hard time picking what I wanted to talk about, so I grabbed quite a few of them. I'm going to breeze over some of them. A lot of them right from Breitbart, so if you guys want to pick them up, you can. Inflation crisis. Now, we talk about that here in America, but what's going on around the world? People facing real food poverty for the first time in a generation, a supermarket boss had said. A head of a major supermarket, Tesco, has warned that people in the UK are facing real food poverty for the first time in a generation. What's he talking about? Well, the UK, like everyone else around the globe, I think are going to start seeing the ripple effects of what's going on with the energy crisis, with fertilizer, with food, with supply chain. It's all going to come to a head here very soon. So I encourage each and every one of you, be prepared. The warning of the real food poverty comes as many in the country struggle with the increasing cost of food, fuel due to inflation. With the former chief economist for the Bank of England warned that such inflammation, oh man, some of these tongue twisters. Inflationary conditions inflicting pain on everyday people could continue for years. So this is coming out of the UK. This is out of the Times. This is who's reporting it, and it's a supermarket giant, Tesco. The CEO, John Allen, has said that many of those who visit his store are now seriously struggling to make ends meet. I was in some of the stores on Friday, and I was hearing for the first time for many years of customers saying to the checkout staff, please stop at €40. I don't want to spend a penny more over that. The publication reports that the grocery czar is saying, and they're very concerned about this. This is the first time in a generation. What's a generation? Generation is a very long time. I would say probably World War II would be the last time that the people in the UK struggled to pay their food bill here. So, folks, pay attention to this. It's in the news. Now, let's talk about somebody that I find very disgusting. And I want to talk about what she is doing to raise money. Madonna launches NFT featured naked avatar of herself to benefit bail fund. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this. It's pretty graphic and it's absolutely disgusting, but I want to talk to you about what they're using the money for. Madonna is the latest celebrity to join the NFT craze and is using the project to raise money for listen to me, a national bail fund that springs people from jail. The 63-year-old Material Girl has teamed up with the artist known as Beeple to create a trio of environmentally themed digital video pieces featuring a naked Madonna avatar giving birth to various objects, including a giant tree and a robot centipede. If that's not disgusting enough, let's talk about what they might use that money for. I've been warning you guys. I've been warning you and warning you. I'm going to warn you again with what's going on with the Supreme Court and their decision they're about to hand down. We saw what happened in the George Floyd instance. We saw the summer of love of 2020, the summer of blood, where they beat people, they hurt people, they destroyed mom and pop businesses, they burned city blocks to the ground, they destroyed police cruisers. When those people were rounded up and incarcerated, they were only in there for a short few hours. Why? Because people like Hills Up Kamala Harris helped bail them out. What do you think Madonna is up to? What do you think these artists are up to? They are going to raise funds. They're prepping and they're preparing for what's about to happen here in America. It is only my opinion. I don't have facts to support that hypothesis, whatever you want to call it, theory. But I'm telling you right now, the writing's on the wall. So buckle up. All right, let's talk about. I don't talk about athletes very often. I try to stay out of the sports, but this guy right here gets under my skin. I think I'm going to nickname him China James, China LeBron, something like that. China backed LeBron James tops athlete salary list with 127 million in 2021. I'm not going to go any further into this article. It's there in Breitbart if you want to grab it. Talks about his career, his 18-time All-Star earning. What I want to bring to your attention is this guy is backed by China. This is a guy that goes out in the public and says things, in my opinion, he shouldn't be saying. He promotes mandates and restrictions. He's just, in my opinion, he's lost all my respect as a man, as an athlete. I don't support these people anymore. I don't watch basketball. I don't watch football. I don't watch baseball. The owners of the companies and these athletes, the political stances that they've taken over the last 2 and 3 years, especially, has been absolutely disgusting. And it's been going on a lot longer than that. I realize that, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention. This athlete right here is backed by China, and I'm going to nickname him China LeBron. I think it fits him very well. Let's hit the next headline. Let's talk about Turtle Man. Poll shows that a 3-1 support for Missouri GOP Senate candidate backed Mitch McConnell, the Turtle Man alternative. What are they talking about? By an astounding measure of 3-1, a new poll shows that Missouri GOP primary voters are more likely to vote for a U.S. Senate candidate in an upcoming August primary if that candidate supports an alternative to Senate GOP leader Mitch Turtleman McConnell. Now, he is going to run for Speaker of the House. I have no doubt that we're going to take back the House and the Senate in November. So Mitch has already got his eyes set on becoming Speaker of the House. Now, they're doing a poll here that states that 3-1, people don't want Mitch McConnell as Speaker of the House. We don't want you, Turtle Man. You are a backstabber. You're a liar. You don't put America first. You bow to the will of the Democrats. Of course, Democrats and Republicans, they're all the same anyway. But we're fed up with you and we're disgusted with you, Mitch. And it's about time that we get rid of you, plain and simple. All right, here's something else that I thought you guys should pay attention to. Senate fails to pass Democrat abortion bill. Now, remember, the Supreme Court's about to rule on this. We already know how they're going to rule. But Biden himself on the campaign trail made a commitment, made a promise to the American people that he was going to make Roe v. Wade an actual law in this country. Senate Democrats on Wednesday failed to pass legislation that would prohibit local, state, and federal governments from preventing abortions. The Senate attempted to invoke cloture and end debate on S 4132, which is Roe v. versus Wade, and the motion failed 49-1. As Senator Joe Manchin, the Democrat from West Virginia, opposed the motion, it it required 60 votes to invoke cloture. Now, I am pronouncing that word properly for this time. And what it means is they wanted to end the debate quickly and go straight to vote. They didn't want any more debate about it. They didn't want to talk about it anymore. They didn't want to hear the conservative side of it. They just wanted to go straight to vote and try to make this law. It was a rush decision. They were really trying to rush this bill through and try to beat the Supreme Court. That's what it's all about. Now, let's hit the next headline. This is something else that's absolutely disgusting. Gavin Newsom, California taxpayers to subsidize abortion tourism. I didn't mispronounce that. That's exactly what the word is. It's tourism. What are they talking about? Governor Gavin Newsom announced plans Wednesday to spend an additional, listen to me, folks, an additional $57 million with an M on abortions for uninsured and out-of-state residents who travel to the state to have abortions because of restrictions on abortion in their states. The announcement brings Newsom's proposal spending on out-of-state abortion tourism to $125 million, over and above what he proposed in January. The new spending comes ahead of the anticipated decision by the Supreme Court on Roe v. Wade. Let me drop down a little bit further in the article. It's in Breitbart. It's pretty disgusting because he's also encouraging companies to move to California. Upon news of the probable decision, Governor Newsom vowed to build, remember, I reported on this about a week ago, he vowed to build a firewall around the state to protect abortion, proposing an amendment to the state constitution granting the right to an abortion to replace the federal one. By updating existing business incentive programs to provide additional consideration for companies leaving states that have enacted restrictions or reproductive rights and anti-LGBTQ laws, Governor Newsom is welcoming companies that share California's values and doubling down on this whole abortion ruling. I'm telling you right now, this is disgusting. And any company that decides that they're going to pull up stakes in any conservative state and move their company to California to support Governor Newsom, to support abortion, to support all this stuff, I think I would immediately find out who they are and I'd stop buying products from them. All right, let's talk about more Bidenflation. Bidenflation squeezes parents and pet owners. Ripple effect, folks. Ripple effect. Be prepared. Prices up for baby food, toddler clothes, breakfast cereals, milk, juice, snacks, and pet food. The last year of inflation has made it much more expensive to raise children or own pets in the United States. The latest report on the Consumer Price Index showed that prices overall are up 8.3% compared to a year ago. That number may actually downplay the real toll of the inflation because prices are already rising rapidly last April. So last month's price increases are on top of an already high prices. Let's talk about some of the high prices. I talked about some of the areas in the grocery stores that it was hitting. Well, here's a whole new list of things that you can count on that is rising. Parents may be feeling especially squeezed because of rising prices on food, childcare, and even clothes for children. Here are some of the 12-month changes in price hikes of stuff for children. Baby food up 13%, infant and toddler clothes up 8.1%. I'm not going to go down through this entire list, but you can find it at Breitbart. Boys' clothes up 3.9%, girls' clothes up 4.7%, sports equipment up 6.8%. There's a whole list of them here, folks. Baby formula, of course, is unavailable in many stores across the country thanks to the nationwide shortage. Parents can take some comfort that toys and playground equipment and games are only up 2.5% from a year ago. Pet lovers are also feeling the pinch of Bidenflation. Pet prices are up 7.2%. Pet food prices are up 7%. Veterinarian services are up 9.8%. Other pet services are up 5.9%. Ah, gotta love this administration. Well, let's talk about more of this wave, more of this ripple effect. GOP representative calls out Biden over baby formula shortage. We have seen no plan. Elis Stefrek, a Republican from New York, demanded action from President Joe Biden and the Food and Drug Administration to solve the nationwide baby formula shortage crisis. Now, why did I bring this article up? Because it infuriates me. While I was having a conversation this morning about this article, I was infuriated about it. Listen to what her statement says. She demands action from President Joe Biden and the Food and Drug Administration to solve the nationwide baby formula crisis. In my opinion, she is nudging, she is grooming, she is teaching people yet again to be reliant on our government, to be reliant on the president, to be reliant on government, to be reliant on the Food and Drug Administration. What happened to us being self sufficient? As a parent, there's lots of things that you can do to feed your baby. Yes, I am a parent. Yes, I did have babies. There's canned milk, there's powdered milk. You can get a grinder, a blender, and grind up baby food. Yes, I realize that infants can't eat baby food yet, but man, there's got to be options. There's got to be options out there instead of encouraging people to be dependent on the tit of the American government. Yet again, it's just one more facet. We got to break out of this matrix. We don't need our government to solve every one of our problems. Next headline: Joe Biden is letting babies go hungry in America. President Joe Biden is failing to address the acute shortage of baby formula across the country, which is resulting in a panic for mothers for whom formula is necessarily a necessary supplement and substitute for breast milk. The New York Times reported on Tuesday a baby formula shortage leaves desperate parents searching for food. A headline once impossible in America. On Wednesday, incoming press secretary Carlene, I think I'm saying her name wrong. Anyway, she is the new press secretary, I guess, replacing Jen Psaki. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that article yet, but it sounds like they're bringing in someone else to do the job. The White House was asked who is running point on the baby shortage. This press secretary made comment, I have no idea. I have no idea. Instead of assuring reporters that the Food and Drug Administration was rushing to make sure formula is safe, she blamed Abbott's voluntary recall of infant formula products, which took place after 4 infants were hospitalized and 2 died. So she's blaming a governor for this. And again, I'm wrapped up in this because I'm furious that so many people continue to rely on the government to solve every one of their problems. Is a baby formula shortage in America a crisis? Yes. And that's another thing that I want to bring to your attention. Why is it ever since this president took office, and I hate calling him that, but that's what he is right now, whether you like it or not, everything that he's done since day one has been a crisis. Have you guys noticed that? Southern border crisis, baby formula crisis, energy crisis, crisis. What happened to the good things that he promises? Didn't he promise everybody that Build Back Better plan was going to be the best thing ever? It's dead in the water. Didn't he promise us that under him, he was going to cure the sickness? Vote for me and the sickness is going to go bye-bye. Remember all those promises? Meanwhile, desperate mothers are considering their options and driving for hours to find formula somewhere, trying to restart or boost breastfeeding, or even trying to create their own homemade substitutes. And this is another line in this statement that infuriates me. Let me reread that again. Trying to restart or boost breastfeeding, or even trying to create their own homemade substitutes, which the government has advised them not to do. Are you fricking kidding me? Our own government are telling our mothers out there not to try to find their own homemade substitutes for feeding their kids. Why is that? It's because they want every one of us enslaved to the government. They want us sucking on the tit of the government. I'm sorry, folks, but this stuff really just irritates me to no end. This is absolutely absurd. Young mothers out there across America, if you're hearing me right now, follow your instinct. You can figure out some of these problems on your own. We don't need the government to do it for us. Let's talk about something that's really heavy too. Let's talk about the whistleblower. Whistleblower reveals FBI investigated concerned parents under AG Merrick Garland's counterterrorism directive. Now, remember, I reported on this a couple of months ago. I'm bringing it to light again because it's back in the news, but the last article of the day is really going to piss you off. A whistleblower has revealed that the FBI investigation concerned parents. Another attorney General Merrick Garland's directed the agency to combat threats of violence against school board administrators last year. In October of 2021, Garland issued a memorandum that expressed concern about a disturbing spike in her. Now, listen to this. A disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, threats of violence against school administrators, board members, teachers, and staff who participate in the vital work of running our nation's public schools. Oh, poor them. Oh, poor them. I need to get my violin out and play a sad tune for them. Threats against public servants are not only illegal, listen to what I'm saying. Threats against public servants are not only illegal, they run counter to our nation's core values. Garland, the Attorney General, wrote at the time, those who dedicate their time and energy to ensuring that our children receive a proper education in a safe environment deserve to be able to do their work without fear for their safety. End quote from Garland himself. Here's the last headline of today. AG Merrick Garland refuses to enforce laws protecting SCOTUS. The pro-baby slaughtering protest, chanting and screaming outside the homes of 6 Supreme Court justices violate federal law, and Joe Biden's Attorney General refuses to enforce that law. But yet he struck up an FBI investigation against hardworking Americans, parents that have kids in schools where they're being indoctrinated, where they were being ruled under medical tyranny and forced into mandates of wearing those damn masks on their face all day in school. We're going to go ahead and investigate them with the FBI and try to prosecute them for intimidation of school board members. but yet he will not enforce the law when it comes to our federal judges. Here it is in black and white. 18, if you want to look this up, you can look it up. It's 18 U.S. Code 1507, picketing and parading. Let me read it for you. The law is strikingly clear. It is a crime to protest in or near a building or residence occupied or used by such judge, end quote. That is in the law, with the intent of influencing any judge. That's what they're doing right now. Why is the FBI not investigating these protesters? Why is the local law enforcement, the county sheriffs, why are they not there? And yet, even though this is law, hundreds of pro-abortion loons are flagrantly violating this law by doing exactly that. They're protesting outside the residence of 6 justices in hopes of persuading them to rule a certain way. Now, it is a perfectly valid position to oppose this law, to see it as a violation of the First Amendment, to believe it is unconstitutional. As long as the protests are peaceful, why should we, the people, be restricted in our protests? It's also possible that the ban on protesting near courthouses is unconstitutional as well, but that the ban on protesting near someone's house in a residential neighborhood is constitutional. And that's what they're portraying. Even the White House, they're telling you it's a constitutional right for people to protest at a Supreme Court justice's private residence. The Supreme Court has upheld many restrictions on the time, place, and manner of speech. What's more, what is wrong with trying to influence a judge's ruling, right? But that's not the point here. The point is that the law is the law is the law, and it is Attorney General Merrick Garland's sworn duty to uphold federal law. And he is not doing that, folks. Why? Well, does anybody doubt that Garland and the lawless White House that appointed him would like nothing more than to see the endless demonic slaughter of innocent, unborn children? Garland is pro-abortion. That's why he's not enforcing the law. This has nothing to do with principle. If it were pro-life protesters out there, you could bet your ass Garland would have already rounded them up and thrown away the key. Hence, J6. Once again, it is plain to see that in this country, there is one law for the people on the left and one law for the people on the right. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Are you sick and tired of this? Have you had enough yet? Is your gut full of it? I've had enough of it. That's Headline Hits for today, folks. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, come back tonight for Ladies of Liberty, Tammy the Hammer Nation, Mary Kay, Scad Warrior. Love y'all. Have a great day.